Hey, good morning. It's 9:59 a.m. It is September 28th, and it's Saturday morning. And it looks like there's, I don't know, possible chance of rain. And if it does rain, then I'm okay with that. Um, it would actually be kind of nice. I'm hoping if it does rain, then it rains at nighttime because I really like the sound of that rain hitting on the rooftop while I'm trying to get some sleep. It's actually quite peaceful. So, today I am doing some, what do you call it? Healing, physical healing. I've been dealing with my nail issue. Looks like I have a fungus in this nail. I noticed it a few days ago. There was just like this white streak coming down my thumbnail, and I didn't really think much of it. I kept thinking, oh, something's going on, but whatever. So I poured some alcohol in it, and then, I forgot about it. And then the next thing you know, I noticed a few days later that there was a small little yellow streak, piece of, I don't know, what do you want to call it? Fungus. So I'm going to have to go down and get some pharmacy and pick up some nail cream for fungus in my fingernail. And I've dealt with this before, but this is only time I've really dealt with nail fungus is when I went to the nail salon, and I don't know what happened, but I think sometimes there's a chance where, or there's actually a possibility where you have nails on, and then water can seep through the nail, and you can actually develop a fungus. I haven't worn nails for a very long time, so I'm a little shocked that this actually happened. But I do know that I wash my hands a lot. Okay, I'm constantly washing my hands. I don't like dirt on my hands at all. Okay, so I'm constantly washing my hands. So my hands are constantly being in contact with moisture. So I'm thinking maybe that has something to do with it. So this week I'm going to make sure that I keep this nail covered as much as I possibly can while I put the application on. So I'm going to be walking around with white gloves, which are, what do you call it? Cotton. They're cotton. Now, I know some people wear white gloves. Like I've seen ushers wear white gloves. I've seen, of course, I believe the Queen wears white gloves. But those are nice, really elegant type gloves. These are more like cotton gloves where, air can actually go through, and it would be helpful in the healing process. So I'm not really in contact with dirt, but at the same time, I'm still getting enough air circulation, I guess, flow through so that it's not going to stifle anything. So I'm going to do that. I do a lot of, what do you call it? Self-healing. Like if I have an ailment, I'm not one of those people. Even when I had insurance, I don't have health insurance, but even when I had insurance, I prefer to try to experiment with my body as much as I possibly can. So I do understand certain healing techniques for certain ailments and things. I'm not saying that you should never go to a doctor. Sometimes it's just absolutely necessary, but I don't really like, the medical industry, so I try to avoid it as much as I possibly can for certain reasons. But anyway, so I'm trying to enjoy this Saturday afternoon, morning, I should say, and then hopefully the afternoon later. And, I'm just kind of doing a lot of thinking, and of course I'm going to be cleaning my house, which my house is usually in good shape. But, I woke up this morning and I did some cleaning in my kitchen, and then I'm going to be hitting the bathrooms pretty soon. I know I have not actually started doing any mopping, which I really should. There's just a lot of things that need to get moved in my kitchen as well as my living room. And sometimes I just don't have the energy to do it. I mean, I got to move my couch, my sewing machine, I got to move my TV, all these things. And there's not a lot in my living room, mind you, but it's still a lot, for somebody who's dealing with depression, who doesn't really have the energy or motivation. I don't like to call it lazy because I'm not a lazy person by any means. It's just, I'm just feeling kind of, emotionally annihilated after all this nonsense that's been going on. So, but I do like to keep my house clean. Okay, I really do. I mean, keeping my house clean is really important. And I don't have the most luxurious home, but I enjoy my surroundings. It's really important that people enjoy their surroundings and make it as peaceful and cheerful as you possibly can. And one thing I don't like is clutter. I don't like clutter at all. So I'm a pretty tidy person for the most part. And, if things become cluttered, I try to take care of it as much as I possibly can. I know I'm going to have to go out to my garage, and I'm going to start cleaning out some of that stuff I don't need. A lot of it is just, some of it's old kitchenware. Some of it's just, I don't know. I have old stuffed animals that I've had since childhood, which I will never throw away. They're not going to be ever, I'm not going to keep them in my house. You know, if I had a bigger place, I would probably have a storage shelf where I could put every single last doll, stuffed animal I ever had on display. But unfortunately, I don't have that room. So for now, they're in the garage, you know. But still, there's certain things like I want to get rid of some old furniture that's in my garage that I don't think is, you know, I wanted to repair it, but when I look at it, it's like, it's just not really worth my time. So I'd like to get rid of that. I do want to make more space in my garage, okay? And when I go in there, it's kind of like, oh my God, you hate being in there. The cobwebs, spider webs, the dead bugs, all that stuff, you know. I want to clean it out. I really do. But that's, hopefully, I'm going to feel a little bit more energetic as time goes on. I'm dealing with a lot of issues of acceptance of what happened. And I guess maybe I'll feel better once I feel like I have resolved this issue, or I feel more comfortable dealing with what I have to do, because there's a lot of things going on in my mind right now, and you know, it is literally, you know, debilitating. It is very, you know, it's mentally debilitating. So I'm doing the best I can to get myself back up, but you know, it can be hard sometimes. I do listen to a lot of meditational music. It does help sometimes. Some of it has like subliminal music in there to kind of help your mood. It's in the background, you know. I don't really want to focus on it too much, but some of it is helps you mood, like certain beats, sounds can help, you know, set an environment. Yeah, I'm sure you've noticed this too, like when you go into restaurants, so they play certain music in the restaurant to create a certain environment or whatever. You can choose music to help, you know, in healing processes, but it's not, you know, an instant thing, okay? It's not going to sit here and just fix all your problems. It doesn't do that. It's just an aid to it. So it's like a lot of it is just actually pushing through and trying to, you know, strategize and figure out what to do. So every time, you know, I've come up with ideas on how to get myself out of this, I spoke about, you know, the issue with my family, extricating myself from my family, which shouldn't be an issue. I mean, people should respect the issue of a grown woman who chooses not to have anything to do with their family. So every time I've tried to come up with ideas on how to fix this issue, I've dealt with, you know, these people constantly wanting to stick and, you know, fix themselves to me. You know, it's quite troublesome, and I don't like it. You know, I really resent the fact that they've absorbed so many of my years already, and the very fact that, you know, what they've put in place is extremely disturbing to me, you know, and so I want my own choices in life, you know, and, you know, obviously what I'm doing right now is not conducive to my well-being. You know, I like to have full days of work, and you know, and I don't like the idea of people, you know, making choices for me, especially when it comes to work or anything in my personal life, you know. And it's not about being selfish, it's about doing what's right for you, you know. I think this whole setup and the whole competition thing was just unwarranted. It was intrusive, and it was an abusive situation directed towards me, and I'm very resentful of it. You know, then I also know that, you know, when you go out into town, these people have, you know, their little agents out there, and you know, and it's upsetting because it's like, you know, I should be able to have regular friendships, you know, and a sense of camaraderie among other people. Because, you know, I'm a nice person and I deserve that. And I shouldn't have to sit here and look at other people with suspicion. And, you know, I don't like that, you know, because it's like you're either, and I will make this very clear, you're either going to be my friend or you're going to be their friend. Because I will not be, you know, it won't be that way. It's not about being selfish. It's about protecting my space. It's about setting boundaries. You know what I mean? I can't trust these people. I will never trust these people, especially after what they've done. I will never trust them. So it's like you, like I said, make a decision. You know, I will not associate with somebody who is in any way affiliated with these people. That's just how it is. I have to protect me, okay? And since all the years of all their emotional, financial, and every other form of abuse that you can ever imagine was inflicted on me, I'm just really cautious. So I kind of have to be. So I was going to mention something, but I can't really think of it right now. Oh, this fall. I'm glad that it's fall season. I'm waiting for it to get cold. I need a winter coat this year. Last year I kind of spaced it. I remember making an effort to look at winter coats, but I really didn't. I need a winter coat. I need to be warm during the winter season. So I will be looking into that sometime this week. I don't really need anything elaborate, but just something, that's going to keep me warm. Something that, like for a heavy winter coat. Like I have sweaters and stuff like that are fine for the fall season, but once they start getting cold, I need something that's going to really keep me warm, and I prefer something black. Just black is just something that it can be worn anywhere, and I don't want anything that's going to be dry clean, because I know how I am with dry clean things. They end up in my hamper, and I'll say I'm going to take it to the dry cleaner, and it never gets there. So it's better for me to get something that can be machine washed. I've had coats in the past where they were so heavy, like, I would put them in the washing machine and there's problems in the washing machine. So I'm just looking for something that's ideal. And I will probably hit like something like Burlington Coat Factory, because they're pretty inexpensive anyway. And then of course, I'd like to get a few hats for fall. I do wear hats on my days off. Out in town, and when I make videos. I have some winter beanies and stuff like that, but I would like more brimmed hats. Just because, you know what I mean? I think beanies are nice and everything like that, but they're not something that I want to wear all the time. So I will get a few hats, maybe like a black fedora or something like that. Something that's going to keep my head warm, also it's functional. But I love this time of the year. I'm much happier during this time of the year, even though I'm gang stalked or whatever. I'm dealing with the residual issues of gang stalking or whatever. It's just, it's just a beautiful time during this year, and I'd like to spend more time outside. I don't know whether it's, yes, I just like to go for a walk. I'm going for a walk because I want to get out of the house. And, has nothing to do with employment. It has nothing to do with anything. Has nothing to do with, Stephen Lyles or anything like that. It's because I want to get out of the house. There's not a whole lot to do. I don't have a lot of money. So it's not like, because a lot of people, when they get bored, they want to go out and they want to go shopping, right? That's not an option for me. I might hit the dollar store. I might hit something that I need, but I'm not one of those women that's going to hit them all. I hate them all anyway, okay? But, that's not an option for me. So where else am I going to go? Like if I had a friend that I could go to, I'd go to her house, or she'd come to my house. We'd keep each other company. But I don't have that. So I just figure out, well, I can go walk up to the park, and, yes, it is a form of exercise, but it's not something that I'm like really focused on. If I was going to get into the exercise thing, believe me, I would figure out something better. I would wear like exercise type clothing. Most of the time when I go for a walk, there's times if I'm wearing like a pair of jeans or a skirt or something, I'm just going to put on some comfortable shoes and I'm going to go for a walk. Okay. You notice I'm not wearing any athletic gear. Okay. Most of the time it's about getting out of the house and just being able to talk to myself and take in like the pretty little, I like looking at some of the neighborhoods. There's Bank Street. I think that's Bank Street, Bank Avenue. Oleander, these streets here in Bakersfield, some of these houses are very beautiful. And when I look at them, they cheer me up, because it's like they have a very nice vibrational feel to them. They're well kept. Some of them are, okay. There's some people who don't take care of their house, and that's too bad. It's too bad. But hopefully one day they'll follow the encouragement. They will, because some of these houses are very, very, very pretty. And I feel like they have a lot of history to them. So they're nice to look at, and it makes my imagination just kind of certain thoughts in my imagination kind of swirl, like, I wonder who used to live there. There's actually some of these houses have little plaques that say, that this was the original home of blah, 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 blah. And that's really interesting. I like looking at those. But yeah, I mean, when you're getting monitored and based on, and they're basing your employment issue on things that are frivolous and stupid, because I think that my family feels as though, if you if you go for a walk, if you take care of yourself, if whatever, then you're just out there trying to get a man. If I wanted a man, I would probably have one already. Okay. Now I'm going to say that, I don't really want to be involved romantically with anyone. And I know a lot of people have a hard time understanding that. And okay, and yes, I would be willing to meet with Steven. I would, because I've liked him for a very long time. And I don't really give a shit if he has a mental issue or not. I don't really give a shit. I don't. Because I think when I look at other people, I see that most people do have mental issues. They do. And so I don't really see what the big deal is. I really don't. And so, if I get to know him, then that's great. I really would be open to that. But for the most part, I don't want that. Because, when you're dealing with commingling or cohabitating with somebody, there's a lot of things that, you have to make adjustments for. I don't want that in my life. I've already done that, and it doesn't appeal to me. And, but I'm willing to get to know this person. You know what I mean? I find him, suitable, and of course, he might do annoying things. Who knows? But it's worth getting a chance to know him, especially after 30-something years, But that's not the goal of every woman, to get a man. It just isn't. Just because a person wears a nice outfit doesn't mean that that's for a guy, And it's really it's wrong to assume that. It's wrong to assume that. It is. I think, like I said, my family is pretty backwards, and I don't. It's so ridiculous when I think of the kind of stuff that they do and the little setups that they put up here. I'm not. We're not in grade school anymore. We're not in grade school anymore, and the days of bullying should have long. They should have long passed. It's not, I'm not obligated to have anything to do with these people, and I certainly don't believe in their lifestyle. I don't believe in their warped religious views. And so it should be a no-brainer to, get the fuck out of my life, basically. That's what it should be. So anyway, I see that the sun's starting to shine through a little bit brighter, and I enjoy getting out of the house because it and being here. There's some days where I really like being at my house, like on the weekdays when I come, I can't wait to get home. I'm like, I just want to get home, right? And when I get home, sometimes it does get boring, but it does feel comforting to be in my space, and when I'm at work, in a normal office environment, I do prefer to work with other people. You know what I mean? I am a very autonomous person. Yes, I am, but I like an even balance. I like to be able to greet people, talk to people at work. It's normal. You want to socialize a little bit, but I don't like socializing with people under the system of my family. Like, I don't want to deal with spies and people who are gossiping. No, I don't. So when I noticed that kind of weird stuff was going on, even before I even knew that these people were the ones who were behind it all, it's weird to me, anyone. It would be weird to anyone. So I avoid them. I mean, why would I want to have anything to do with somebody who's doing that? You don't. So I would just go off and do my own thing. You know what I mean? Because you can't win in a situation like that. I'm not interested in winning, but my point is, it's like, if you know that these people cannot be sincere, if you know that they don't have what it takes to be a true friend or a true associate, you don't really want to look for friendships at work anyway, but you do want to have a certain amount of respect, and you do want to be able to work with a person and enjoy their company, and if you keep things professional and if you keep things light and airy, you really can't, you can't lose, really. But unfortunately, some people want to dig in and they want to ask personal questions because they're spying for my family. And the minute I realize that they're a little bit too intrusive, I don't want you near me. Like, just please go away. And that's what I will do. So But I generally get along with people. I can talk about just about anything. I'm relatable. Um, and I can, I think I'm somebody that people can tell their problems. You could tell your problems to me, and I'm not going to judge. Usually when people do come and tell me their problems, I usually say, okay, well, do you want an opinion or you just want a sounding board? And I try to be as accommodating to people as I possibly can be. So I'm a good person to be around. I just don't want to be around people who are double agents, which makes sense. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video, and I will be back with another video some other time. Not nothing else to really report to. So if you see me walking around town with gloves on, I know there's like people always watch what I do. It's going to be text messaging, photographs taken anonymously, whatever. To let my main perps know that Maria's wearing gloves. Maria's wearing gloves because she's trying to take care of her nail fungus issue. But really, it's really none of your damn business. But I will say it is kind of strange to see people walking around with white gloves. I did walk around with white gloves a few months ago because I didn't go to the nail salon. I wasn't getting my nails done anymore because I was trying to make my nails grow, and I don't like really long nails. I like them just a little bit above the fingertip, and so I wanted to try to make my own nails grow. And really the reasons why my nails don't grow properly is because they're constantly exposed to water. Now my nails on my feet, my toenails grow like crazy. Okay, they grow like crazy, mainly because the only contact that they have with water is once a day. Okay, I take a shower once a day. Okay, which is normal. Okay, but I'm washing my hands daily, like constantly. They'll be like a few minutes, and the next thing you know, I'm back in the bathroom washing my hands. I wash my hands a lot, so my nails start to wear down. You know what I mean? So there's a difference between what's going on in my toenails and my fingernails. So I kept thinking, well, if I avoid water on my hands, and what I was doing was I was wearing white gloves. And then what I would do if I had to, because I have a big pack of white disposable gloves, right? So if I had to use the restroom or something like that, I would switch out the white gloves after, I used the restroom, wear the white gloves. And then like if I had to do the dishes, then I would switch them into, the household type plastic gloves, and then switch back into the white gloves. So I was doing that for a while, and then I kept thinking, this is ridiculous. Like, I kept thinking, I'm gonna have to do this for 2 weeks, and then it's like I can't do this. I couldn't deal with that. It was too tedious. So I stopped doing it. But now that I see that I have this nail issue, I'm gonna go ahead and do that for a little bit until the little fungus issue closes up, and then there's this huge gap between my fingernail and the skin. So it looks like it's kind of lifting. It's lifting from the skin of my fingernail. So there's a space between there. So I'm going to see if I can wait and see if it's going to heal back up. Or sometimes, I might even end up losing that nail. I don't know. And then it will have to grow back, which that's happened to me before. Okay. When I had the fake nails on, and then I had to start my nail issue all over again. And then I ended up losing that nail, and then it had to grow back again. So shit like that happens, but I'm just prepared this time. So I'm going to wrap up this video. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.